so much, Mr. Rubert. So this is really nice, and this is one of my favorite things to do, and I feel very privileged to get to honor some of our exemplary staff. And it's really nice that you brought some family members and fans with you as well, so thank you. I really appreciate you. I enjoy being able to invite you to the board meeting to honor you, but I also feel guilty taking time away, more time away from you to ask you to come at night, but hopefully the cake is a little extra enticement, especially for some of the young fans who come. So I'm going to ask you, if you don't mind, what I want to do is I'm going to read, I don't think I could say it better than the submissions that were made on each of your behalfs, so I just pulled some excerpts from the submissions that were made when our staff members were nominated for their different awards. So I'm going to start with Ms. Teresa Miles, and you may come up by yourself, or you can bring up your family as well, since I know the
Okay, I guess I'm going by myself.
So like I said, I'm just going to read a little piece from what was submitted on Teresa Miles' behalf, and she is our 23-24 Educational Services Professional of the Year for Watchung Hills. Teresa Miles supported, Mrs. Miles met with all grades 9 through 12 students on her caseload for academic advisement, post-secondary, and college planning. Also, I want to mention, I know this is not the first time that you have seen Teresa here in front of the board. She came last year with some students that she had done tremendous work with who presented at the end of the year. So, and I would say all of these faces here are familiar faces because you're very involved in multiple aspects of the school. For the 45 grade 11 students on her caseload, Mrs. Miles scheduled in-person meetings with these students and their parents and caregivers. Mrs. Miles worked closely with each of her grade 12 students on developing individualized post-secondary plans, including college and careers. Continuing to utilize the district's well-developed multi-tiered system of supports, Mrs. Miles communicates regularly with ESL teachers, student assistance counselors, and Rutgers clinicians to discuss students on their shared caseloads and identify students that could benefit from additional support, including crisis assessments. Collaborating with the teachers that instruct for the Empower program, Mrs. Miles works to provide the needed additional support for these students to get back on track academically. Mrs. Miles works to identify additional students that can utilize the Empower summer school program, and over the summer meets with incoming students and parents and caregivers with a prior established Section 504 accommodation plan. She was an active and engaged member of a PLC group on development and expansion of ELL services, which is part of our strategic plan, and developing and recommending enhancements to our ESL program. She participated in a number of professional development opportunities this year related to ESL in and out of class support, including district professional development programming, attending other district ESL programs to learn from colleagues about their practices, and attended the Teaching English to Speakers of Other Languages conference. Recently, Mrs. Miles attended a board meeting to discuss the ESL support and programming provided and tied to the district's strategic plan goal number 4, progress and initiatives, as I mentioned. Mrs. Miles worked with students that presented at this board meeting to share their invaluable feedback directly with the board members and community. Mrs. Miles supported and attended a number of school counseling department evening events, including class of 23 and 24 presentations. Her professionalism and support was appreciated and much needed to proctor and oversee the various testing administrations this academic year for AP exams and NJSLA and JGPA. Her work ethic, dedication, and the impact she has had on the Watchung Hills students are some of the many reasons that we proudly honor her as the WHRHS Educational Services Professional and endorse her as the County Educational Services Professional of the Year. This is our
very surprised. When I learned that I was receiving this award, I thought that everyone that I work with should receive this award. I truly cannot do my job without my village. They are always there for me when I ask of anything. They support me through all things, even when I might not be in the best of spirits, but I truly am humbled by this, so I appreciate it. Thank you so much.